Hello, how are you everyone? Welcome back to Kelal English or English with Solomon. Thank you for joining us on this season, on this part of our lesson. I'm sure you found the previous lessons useful and helpful in your lesson, in your studies, and in your language communication. Since we did two sessions on conditional sentences, on the first one conditional type 0 and the second one conditional type 1, this part is a continuation of that. We'll talk about conditional type 2 here, and then on our next episode we'll talk about conditional type 3. So when we finalize the conditional sentences, we'll do kind of review exercise on all the four conditional sentences, and then we'll move on to another topic. So previously, if you remember, when we talked about conditional type 0, we said that conditional type 0 is used to talk about real situations or facts and general truths, and it also is used to show cause and effect relationship, between two things, two ideas, etc. So that was what we said about conditional type 0, and we said that the structure of conditional type 0 was if plus present simple, and the main clause as well takes present simple. So present simple in both situations, in the if clause and in the main clause. When we moved to conditional type 1, we said that it's used to talk about situations, which are possible, to happen in the future, right? So we said that that is possible condition, conditional type 1 as well. So in the if clause we say we use if plus present simple, and in the main clause we use simple future, which means will plus verb 1. Now today we're going to move on to conditional type 2. Conditional type 2, just like conditional type 0 and type 1, it has its own uses and it has its own form, and we'll also see examples of conditional type 2, and when we are done with the examples we'll move on to the exercise. So to begin with, conditional type 2, what do you think is conditional type 2? When do we use it? Is it different from the previous conditions, conditional type 0 and 1, or is it the same? How about the structure, the form? How do we form conditional type 2? Conditional type 2, it is a condition or an imaginary situation or a probable with an imaginary situation with a probable result, with a probable result, assuming that. So it is used to imagine present or future situations that are impossible or unlikely in reality. So the situation that we deal in conditional type 2 is an impossible or unlikely. That's why we say an imaginary situation or unreal situation in general. When we want to talk about such kind of things, having a probable result, we use conditional type 2. And it also is used to refer to an unlikely or hypothetical condition and its probable result. So these are all about unlikely, hypothetical, imaginary situations that we deal here in conditional type 2. All right? So in type 2 conditional, in type 2 conditional, in type 2 conditional, in type 2 conditional, the sentences, okay, the time is now and any time. That's what we say unlikely or hypothetical, okay, unlikely or hypothetical. So in conditional type 2, in type 2 conditional, we said that the time is now or any time, okay, any time, because we said it is a hypothetical situation. It can be any time, and the situation is hypothetical or unreal, okay, unreal. So in general, in type 2 conditional sentences, the time is now or any time, and the situation is hypothetical or unreal situation that we are dealing here. So how do we form conditional type 2? So there are two parts, as you know, the if clause and the main clause, right? So in the if clause, we use if plus past simple tense, okay? If plus past simple tense. And in the main clause, okay, this is the if clause, okay, and this is the main clause, okay? Main clause, would or could plus verb 1, would or could plus verb 1, okay? That is how we form conditional type 1. And we can also use might, okay? Would, could, or might plus verb 1. So to see some examples under this situation, under this type 2 conditional, look at these sentences. If we had a garden, we could have a cat. So if we had, so the if clause has past simple, and the verb is had, if we had a garden, and we could have a cat. So could plus verb 1 in the main clause. We could have a cat. So the implication is that we don't have a garden. As a result, we don't have a cat. Okay, we don't have a cat. And the second situation, if I won a lot of money, okay, I would buy a big house in the city. I would buy a big house in the city center. So for this person, do you think this person has a big house in a city? Why? You said no. Why? Because this person does not have any money, or he doesn't win any lottery, or he doesn't win any money. So if I won a lot of money, I would buy a big house in a city. The third example, I wouldn't worry if I were you. I wouldn't worry. Okay? I wouldn't worry if I were you. In the first two sentences, we bring the if clause at the beginning. When we bring the if clause at the beginning, we use comma in the middle. Okay? We put comma in the middle. But if we start our sentence with the main clause, we don't use any comma in the middle, because if can serve as a connector, then it joins the two sentences. So I wouldn't worry if I were you. Okay, if I were you. So if I were you, I wouldn't worry. The next one, he would travel more if he were younger. Okay, he would travel more. He would travel more. Would plus verb 1, and if he were younger. Okay, for such kind of situations, unreal situations or hypothetical situations, we use where with I, he, she, it, etc. Right? Which we don't use normally. Okay, to show that the situation is hypothetical or unreal. The other one, for example, if I were a bird. If I were a bird, I would fly. So if I were a bird, I would fly. Because the situation is imaginary and real or hypothetical, we use were with I, right? So if I were a bird, I would fly. So generally, what we have seen here is the use and the form and some examples of the second conditional or type 2 conditional. Then before we move on to the exercise, I want you to have a look at them quickly. It is used, second conditional is used to imagine a present or future situation that are impossible or unlikely in reality. Okay? In reality, these things are impossible or unlikely. And it refers to an unlikely or hypothetical condition, and it is probable result. Okay? It's probable result. So the situation is unlikely or hypothetical, just like what we said here. In type 2 conditional sentences, the time is now or any time. And the situation is hypothetical or unreal. The form, if plus past simple. In the if clause, we use simple past. In the main clause, we use would, could, might plus verb 1. So once we said this, I would like you to have a look at this exercise. There are 7 questions. I want you to complete the missing words or verbs by using the appropriate form of the verbs. Okay? By using the appropriate form of the verbs. Please have a look at them, 2 minutes, and then we'll do them together. All right, welcome back everyone, welcome back. So let's have a look at these questions. So the first question says, what would you do if you blank a lot of money on the street? What would you do if you blank a lot of money on the street? The verb given is find. So here, what would you do? Because it is a question, okay? Because it's a question, we use or we separate would and do. So we have would plus verb 1 here, okay? And the if clause, what did we say is the structure? In the if clause, we use past simple. So what is the past simple form of or the verb to form of find? It is found. So the answer is found, okay? What would you do if you found a lot of money on the street? Good. Number 2. If I had her number, I blank her, but I don't have it. Okay? But I don't have it. So here it says if I had her number. So the if clause with its past simple is already here. So we need to complete the main clause, which we say the main clause is verb 1 followed or coming behind from would. So it is I would call her. So we don't change the verb, we put it as it is, but we need to add would. Okay? I would call her. I would call her if I had her number. I would call her if I had her number. Number 3, our kids would be happier if we blank in the country. So the verb given here is live. Okay, live. So our kids would be happier if we so would plus verb 1 is here in the main clause. Would plus be. Then that is if clause. So the if clause, we said it is past simple. So if we, what is the past form of live? Lived, right? Lived. Number 4, if it blank, I would cycle to work. Would cycle is the main clause, would plus verb 1. And here it is the past simple tense that we are expected to complete, past simple. So if it blank, no train is given. So in the if clause we say we use past simple form. So what is the past simple form of no train? Okay, it is if it didn't, perfect. If it didn't rain, I would cycle to work. If it didn't rain. Number 5, if I were you, I blank that milk. If I were you, I, the past simple is given here in the if clause, and here would or could plus verb 1. So I, what is, it is negative, not drink. So I wouldn't drink. Okay, if I were you, I wouldn't drink that milk. The next one, I would have a car, that is the main clause, if I belong in the country. Okay, if I belong in the country. If I, if the condition or the main verb given is work, I would have a car if I belong in the country. So work is the verb given, so if clause is past simple, so if I worked in the country. If I worked in the country, I would have a car. Then the last one is if I had more free time, I belong to the gym daily. I belong to the gym daily. So the verb given is go. So the answer is would plus I would go to the gym daily. So if I had more free time, I would go to the gym daily. So these are important things to know in the conditional sentences. So I hope based on what we have covered, I am sure you have understood what is essential in the conditional type 2 sentence. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. See you in our next lesson. Those of you who didn't subscribe before to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. And those of you who have already subscribed, please like, share and comment to this channel. Thank you so much. Have a good day.